Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Chocolate Bros Tasting Show.
That's right.
That didn't come out that smooth.
No, it wasn't smooth. You came in medium hot and unsmooth, but I'm going to save it for you. We are the Chocolate Bros. I'm Brian.
Adam, I thought you were going to say my name. I was too busy flexing, dude.
Yeah, I'm Brian.
Boom.
He's Adam. He's Mr. Flexi Guy. I'm Captain Big Mouth, and we're, as my son sometimes calls me. And
He called me that the other day,
yeah,
too.
he calls everybody.
Oh, does he? I
Yeah.
thought he just had that
That's
just
his
for
thing.
me.
No.
Oh, he calls everybody that. All
Yeah.
right, good.
And we are the owners of Fortunato Chocolate. You can find us at www.fortunatochocolate.com online. And thank you very much for joining us as we work our way through 1,000 kind of straight sort of days of reviewing chocolate that we find in supermarkets or stores, random chocolate, nothing, not on the fine end of things.
Sometimes it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be just straight grocery store chocolate.
As it is today, yes.
As it is today. Yep. With the goal, so we've been in business 16 years.
That's
Brian
right.
lived in the jungle of northern Peru with cacao farmers, buying and processing cacao for our company for 10 years. And we just are curious to know I think we're really curious to know what's out there for two reasons. One, to see where we stand in the world. Two, most of our business is e-commerce, and our customers can't really buy chocolate from us during the summer. So at least a solid that we can do for the world is use our experience and Brian's professional training as an international chocolate judge.
I don't like to brag, as you know, Adam. I'm a modest gentleman, but I have been a judge for the International Chocolate Awards 2 times. And
Yes.
I'm what most people would consider a professional chocolate taster.
So that's what we got. All right. This is how we can maybe propose to add more value to our
Yeah.
customer experience and to the experience of anybody who's out there in the world who likes chocolate and would like to know what they can hang their hat on when they go to the store.
Well, and also we have a retail chocolate store that's in a commercial shopping center, and in that shopping center is a grocery store and a Target. You can go into either of those stores, and you can find 100 different kinds of chocolate. And it strikes me we should know what people are finding when they go in there.
Yep.
And so there's not, and we are not. I wouldn't say that you and I are chocolate snobs or chocolate purists. We love delicious tasting food.
We are food people.
We're food
No
people,
question,
but not
we're food
foodies. We're not fancy food people. We just like really good, simple, just honest, good food.
Correct.
Including honest, good chocolate. We consider our chocolate honest and good. And we want to see if some of this grocery store stuff or whatever it is that we find and bring in is honest, good chocolate. So we're going to give you a straight up review, not mean, not bagging on it because it's not ours. If it's good, we'll tell you.
Yep. So here's what we got for you today.
Literally grocery store.
We have this Organic Truth oat milk, non-dairy.
Simple Truth Organic.
Simple Truth Organic. Now, my understanding is that this is the Kroger
Yes.
organic brand. Now, I just want to point some stuff out down here. We've got the USDA certified organic. I think this says non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, and then this is fair trade certified. So you might go to the store and see all of these labels and just automatically assume this thing is of high quality.
Yeah, this chocolate.
And that may or may not be the case, but I just want to point out, like, these don't necessarily mean that you're going to get something delicious.
Yeah, this chocolate is checking the boxes for someone who is a conscious consumer. It's fair trade, so you're thinking that the cacao farmer is getting some extra income from this. It's organic, so you're reducing, your potential pesticide load, etc. So there's a lot of things going for it. This is actually from the Kroger Corporation. So Kroger, here where we live outside Seattle.
They own Safeway.
Safeway, Fred Meyer, and QFC.
Do they own
They're
QFC
all,
as well?
They're all Kroger
Okay.
brands.
All
So in any of the 3 grocery stores that's right around where we are, they're Kroger brands or they're Simple Truth. You can get Simple Truth organic milk, eggs, all kinds of different cheese, all kinds of different stuff. And so we thought, now we know what we're getting here. This is a chocolate that does not call out its cacao percentage on the front. It's milk chocolate, and it's got a candy inclusion. So what we're looking at here is basically almost, we could consider this more like candy than chocolate.
I will give them, just off the top, without even trying the bar, some credit for doing something somewhat innovative, which is using oat milk instead of dairy milk.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's
That's a cool idea.
So you may recall that yesterday we looked at a Theo bar, and I happened to have found it in the bargain section.
Yep.
This was the same. I found this in the bargain section, and that was actually what typically a literal store brand milk chocolate would not have caught my attention. But this had the
Shout out to that. I mean, already.
Yeah.
So I can tell you.
oat milk, and I also love sea salt caramel.
So without even tasting this, I'm looking forward to. I like oat milk. So I'm looking forward to tasting the oat flavor of the oat milk. I'm just going to read the ingredients since you set this down, just so we know what we're getting into. We got cane sugar
So
as
number
the
one's
first
cane
ingredient.
sugar, so you know right off the
It's
bat
gonna
you're
be
talking about
sugary.
an industrial sweet milk chocolate.
Cocoa butter, oat flour, gluten-free.
flour.
Yeah, cocoa mass, caramel pieces made with cane sugar and fructose, inulin, which I don't even know what that is, sea salt, and then vanilla pods.
So wait a minute. Does it say
It
dairy?
just
Is there
says
dairy
oat.
in there?
No, it says it's dairy-free. So the oat milk part of this says oat milk.
But it's actually oat flour.
So it just says oat flour.
Is oat milk made from pressed oat flour or something?
I have no idea. So that's interesting.
I almost want to say that might be a misprint.
Okay.
Flour?
Oat flour. All right.
You can't put flour in chocolate.
All right. Well, let's give it a shot. Let's see what it tastes like.
So
All right. Lead us through.
The box is.
I like a box like this.
The box is basic cardboard with a flap so you can reclose it. Inside that box is a thin foil terry. I hate these. I hate these foil liners.
I hate them.
They're awful. And
I like this box though. I like the box. I mean, I like these kind of boxes where you can open them and close them like this, and it's easy to store your chocolate.
You can see that it's the most basic mold there is. This is
and really light colored milk chocolate.
Yeah. You can see that this is the reference example of a very, very basic industrial mold. No, it's thin. You can.
It's a thin
kinda
mold.
see, and I guess I'll hold up a couple pieces now. You can see there's the mold a little more clearly. You can see it's a thin piece, and you can see little flecks of the what is it?
Caramel.
The caramel that's inside it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually see the little bits of caramel.
All right, so when I see that, I'm already expecting maybe some texture or some
So
crunch.
you're thinking there's going to be some crunch.
I'm
There's gonna be
thinking
some little-
oats. I'm thinking texture and crunch.
Right.
Which I like all that.
We already know, but we know that the dominant flavor is going to be sugar. This is a high
It's gonna be
sugar,
sugary.
low cacao. High sugar, low cacao.
But even
product.
so, it's got a few things. At least to me, as a guy who likes interesting inclusions, at least it's got the oats and it's got the caramel flecks in it,
Right.
which has some things that are going in its favor. But let's give it a shot.
try. So
all right, lead us through the tasting, Brian.
We're going to first just rub it with our thumb a little to release some flavor, some aroma.
All sugar and milk.
Well, but it's worse than that because right off the bat you get that weird chemically kind of.
So you got a better trained palate than I do.
Yeah. So.
You're getting chemicals out of it?
Yeah. Well, it says cane sugar.
But inulin.
Cocoa butter.
I don't know what inulin is.
I don't know what inulin is either, but and it's the fructose. It's the fructose.
It's the fructose.
They don't say high fructose corn syrup, but it says fructose. I don't know. That has.
You can smell that?
Well, that to me has that same kind of chemically smell as a store-bought marshmallow does.
Okay.
It's that chemical fructose.
Well, basically, it smells like candy.
It smells like candy, but not great candy.
No, it just smells like a hard candy.
Right. Okay. So now I'm gonna take a little nibble and see if it'll melt and check the texture. No melt at all. It doesn't melt.
Because the oat flour, it's got these caramel flecks in it.
There's a lot of caramel. I got like 2 or 3 chunks in that tiny little nibble. I got like 2 or 3 chunks of caramel. All right, quickly do some bite.
Now, you want to set it off or you want me to set it off?
Oh, go ahead.
It doesn't taste like chocolate. There's essentially no, to my opinion, there's essentially no chocolate notes in this.
It tastes like what I thought chocolate was before I got into higher percentage chocolate.
Yes.
It's just sugar and milk.
There's no cacao flavor
No.
in this at all. I mean,
There's
you
no
couldn't
cacao flavor.
really, you almost couldn't even call this
I
chocolate.
would call that candy.
I mean, you can't even really call it chocolate.
My guess
because
is this has the legal minimum of 10 or 11% cacao in it so that they can legally call it chocolate, but there is no cacao flavor at all.
Yeah. So there's no. I mean, if your goal is to go out and taste good chocolate, then this is not. You can't. This is not it. This is does not really even taste like chocolate. Now,
As candy.
Now, so we have to judge this as candy.
Yeah, we have
almost. As candy, I get the sea salt up front. I get the oat. I really don't taste the caramel. I can't taste caramel in there, but I get
texture.
But I get the texture of the hard kind of crunchy
The caramel pops.
caramel. So in many ways, I like this better than the Theo bar that we tried before.
This is more successful as candy than the Theo bar was as chocolate.
Yeah. And so
because the Theo bar had 45% cacao, but there wasn't really any cacao. This has almost no cacao, so it's sugar, it's candy.
it's very sweet.
So the texture.
It has no creaminess.
It doesn't really have creaminess. It doesn't melt great. But I have to say, it's less sweet than I thought it was going to be.
Because I think maybe because of the oats.
Because they put the oat in, it's less sweet than I thought it was going to be. And so when they add that crunchy texture, all of a sudden, so I'm heavily texture.
I like that. I do too. And I like bars like this that are interesting.
Add a little pop. Yeah, at least it's interesting.
It is interesting.
It's too sweet for me. And honestly, I would say like. So when we talked, I think we talked yesterday or the day before about there's a front note and then there's whatever you're tasting as you're letting it melt on your tongue, and then there's a tail. There isn't really that here. There's one thing. It's one note. The note is sweet oatiness, but that's what they were going for.
And crunch.
And crunch. So, they hit what they were going for.
And one of the benefits you get of totally abandoning any pretense that you're trying to like make chocolate with cacao flavoring,
right,
is you can pretty much sidestep any of the obstacles or challenges you might run into with poorly fermented cacao.
Right. There's no.
So you don't get any kind of bitter aftertaste. So you sidestep all of that.
And is the roast on this cacao good?
Who even knows?
No idea.
There's no way to know.
No possible way.
But you got this in the reduced basket for $1.18.
I did. Three times what we paid.
And so listen,
yesterday's CEO bar.
So I would, for $1.18.
Honestly,
I would take this over other candy that you might buy for $1.18.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
I would guess that
as a piece of candy, it's a good deal.
As a piece of candy, if you take it for what because here's the thing, we're chocolate professionals and we like high-end chocolate, but sometimes I want candy. I want sweet and candy. Not that often, not since I got into good chocolate, but if you're gonna get candy, you could do a lot worse.
You could do a lot worse.
Yeah.
And then, like we talked about at the beginning, these don't mean that this is really good chocolate. But it does.
In fact, the fair trade is essentially worthless.
It's worthless because there's almost no cacao in it.
There's almost no cacao in it.
But
right.
You got
unless the sugar's fair traded.
But so you've got the USD.
If the sugar was fair traded, that would actually mean something to a farmer.
Okay. So you've got this USDA certified organic. Mm-hmm. So if you like that,
that's never
that's
a bad
good.
thing.
You got the non-GMO. It's vegan. Vegan doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy because it's still super high in sugar. So
right.
You've got these sort of negative health effects of eating too much sugar, but it is vegan, so if you're dairy free you can go for this. So as a piece of candy, this kind of has a decent amount going for it.
To wrap it up, I would say that for the $1.18 that I paid for it, knowing it is what it is, and having known that when I went into it, I would call this bar a success.
I would call
honestly,
it a success. And we didn't talk about the salt.
I didn't get a big salt.
I got a little bit. It balanced it, especially on the front. On the front, I got a little bit of salt.
Yeah, I would just say that, like you say, if you go to an Adam Sandler movie and you're expecting a high-end English drama, you're gonna be disappointed. But if you go knowing that you're gonna get you're just having fun and it's nothing serious and it is what it is, enjoy it for what it is. If you're willing to enjoy something for what it is. This ain't bad. There's worse options.
Yeah, you're on a road trip with your kids or with your spouse, your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Like I think my son would like that.
And if you could pick this up for $1.18,
yeah,
I think this is actually a pretty good deal and pretty good for what it is. So,
yeah.
Which is not good chocolate, but good candy.
It is not that.
So, Brian, anything you want to add before we sign off on this one?
I just want to thank everybody for listening.
Thank you.
And urge you, if you're feeling the urge to see what our chocolate's all about, www.fortunatochocolate.com, and we thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you. And if you like it, go ahead and hit the like button. Maybe consider subscribing as well. Have a great day.
Bye.